Hey, Rob World Entertainment, and we're getting some new images of Masters of the Universe. Now, it's from a toy fair, so we're actually seeing the toys as well. And my god, have they really ramped up the amount of toys for this movie. So, where the original movie was actually made to promote the toys, it looks like they're doing the same thing with this one. At least the toys are going to try and promote the movie, which is interesting. But they have a toy fair, and we're seeing now new looks at Skeletor, not just through the art for the things, but there's also two statues there which actually look great, and the action figures themselves. So let's take a look at this. So it's saying that Masters of the Universe, of course, is getting the reveal at the toy fair, this year's toy fair. So we have new looks at Skeletor, thanks to the first one's Roton toy packaging, and it seems He-Man's nemesis will take flight in a redesigned vehicle that was often utilized by Eternia's villain in the 80s animated series. In addition, the Skell Knights action figure packaging reveals another look at one of Skeletor's loyal warriors. These Skell Goons didn't appear in the original cartoon, but every big bad needs a few disposable minions. So, by the way, Skell Knights is what these things are officially called. So, you can see what they're all looking like. So, here's Skeletor on his kind of Skell cycle, I suppose. It looks like actually the thing that General Grievous used in Revenge of the Sith. Doesn't it? It looks very, very similar to that. Now, I can't quite remember. I don't think Skeletor used something like that in the original cartoon. I think there's something similar, which I think maybe was one wheel or something, but I don't remember it looking exactly like that. But it's an interesting design. Lots of spiky wheel type things. I doubt you'll see them things actually kill anyone or anything like that, because, you know, I don't think this thing is R-rated, but it's still cool looking, you know. These toys are going to sell like hotcakes. I really do think these things, they're not going to do like a Marvel or Star Wars where they're showcased today and they're in the bargain bin tomorrow. I don't think that's going to be the case. So then you can kind of just see the actual toy. There seems to be some sort of handle on the back of the toy, so I'm supposing that's going to be a trigger and those blade things will actually spin. I have a feeling that that's what that will do. Actually, I can see the thing up in the corner. It's not in English, I don't think, but clearly it's saying that that thing spins. So, an interesting looking vehicle. How much of it we'll actually see in the movie, don't know, but it's definitely an interesting looking vehicle. There's actually, yes, there's the thing now. I'm actually looking and I can see what they're talking about, the redesign. You can see the cycle part in the middle. That is very much what Skeletor used to use. Didn't that used to have like almost like a chopper style motorbike with the front coming out? I believe that's what that was. It didn't have that big wheel thing. So yeah, that looks to be what it is. And then we get to the Skell Knights. So these seem to be the guys that when we see the real shot of Skeletor in the trailer, these are clearly the guys standing behind them. So, and as you can see, they are officially called Skell Knight. So it's an interesting look. I like the design. You know, it's almost like a stormtrooper but skeletized, which is interesting. So he seems to have a sword with him. That's the one thing, and I think, is that a good thing or a bad thing regarding an action figure like this? It's very minimalist. There's not a hell of a lot of add-ons and stuff like that, which I think nowadays you're kind of expecting to be a crap ton of stuff in there with them, but that's not the case this time round. It's very much just one action figure and a sword. It's like, okay, you know, that could work in their favor. Then you're seeing actor James App, who is playing Spikor. So this is that guy. So that's a new image. We don't have the action figure, but it's just this image of this guy. So that's what this guy, I can't remember whether Spikor was actually in the original cartoon. I am sure he was. I can't remember every single character that was in there, but it's definitely giving you a good look. But then you see these statues, and the statues look great. You know, they're like, obviously they're not buyable statues or anything. They're just statues to promote the toy fair and stuff like that. But they look fantastic. You always see Predators around Comic-Cons and stuff like that. They start doing these Predator statues, and here we have the He-Man statues. The Skeletor looks fantastic. You know, that's the issue though, is like, it's Jared Leto. Obviously it doesn't look like him. Will it sound like him? Probably not, but unless his voice ends up, because they're saying he does the voice and stuff, will he come out just sounding like his version of the Joker? It's, you know, to be determined, I suppose. But the look of Skeletor is still fantastic. You can't argue that at all. And the statue of Prince Adam He-Man looks great as well, actually. So yeah, that's cool. And then there was the other toy. So now we see Battle Cat in all of his glory with the armor on and stuff. So the only issue I have with Battle Cat in the trailer is he looks incredibly CGI, which obviously he will be, because they're not going to have this gigantic green cat. But yeah, it's a bit worrying about how digital he looks. Obviously they have time to fix that, but they never do. Everybody looks at these trailers and goes, oh, you don't have to worry, that's only the trailer, they'll fix that, and they never do. So God only knows. Then the Skeletor action figure itself, the head doesn't look quite right. It's still a cool figure. I just think you'd expect slightly better than that, but it's a good action figure. You know, for collectors, this thing will be, you know, up there with some of their wants and whatnot. So then, of course, the trio at the bottom, you can see Evil Lyn, Teela, and Lockjaw. So that's the Evil Lyn. I still can't get over why her hair is white. It's just me, or is everyone else like, why is her hair white? I don't know. It's weird that it's bugging me that much. The actress playing Teela has come out to say something about why the suit she's in is this and not the original. So I'm sure it's just one of those typical, like, oh, you know, we didn't think it would be functioning, blah, blah, blah. I didn't read what she said, but yeah, whatever. Lockjaw looks cool, though. He does look cool. So it's kind of like, I believe his arms do change in the movie as well, so he won't just have the claw, he does have the other versions of the arms. So that's, I think, quite interesting. I'm pretty sure it is Lockjaw, isn't it? I am getting that name right. I could be getting it completely bloody wrong. It's been so long since I've known all these characters. But look, I'm interested in the movie. I will go and see it and review it and stuff. I am interested. I am concerned about stuff the director is starting to say about toxic masculinity, and of course about Jared Leto. The only good thing with Leto is it doesn't look like Jared Leto, so it's not like we're having to see his dumbass face. But it's just, will this movie work? Will it be too campy? Will it be too jokey? Will it be too serious? You want that kind of blend where there's humor, but you can also take moments serious. What will this movie actually turn out to be? And when will we, of course, hear Skeletor speak? Because that's going to be a big moment of, you know, is it just truly Jared Leto being Jared Leto, or will we be able to just not see Leto and just see and hear Skeletor? Time will tell. But what do you guys think of these new images, the artwork and all that stuff, and of course the action figures? What do you think of that mad spiky wheeled bike thing for Skeletor? Let me know in the comments, and will you be buying any of these figures? Let me know that too. So with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I shall catch you in the next one.